Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to the latest episode of The Peak and the Pit. I'm Jazz.
I'm Kat.
And that was a phone noise. Didn't everyone hear it? Hi, Kat.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It was International Women's Day this week.
I know.
And it's Mothering Sunday this
Oh.
week. Doing it for the women.
We are.
How are you? You good?
I'm good, you know. Feeling amazing, actually.
Good. How have you got on with the challenge?
I've smashed it.
Smashed it.
Smashed it.
I feel like this is the first challenge you've come in and gone, smashed it.
I have, because, you know, I told you.
I know.
I am a professional walker.
She's a professional.
So, yeah, I was bound to smash this.
So have you really been getting out and enjoying it?
Yeah, I did 18,000 steps on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Just for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, we were challenged to do 10,000 steps every day for 7 days last week.
Yes.
And I'm not going to lie, I found it relatively easy.
Yeah, it's because you're a fitness
No,
queen.
but so are you. You like walking. So I've just...
Yeah.
And the weather's been nice. So I've just got out, got it done.
Yeah.
It's been good. Do you know what? I found a nice little walk. We did the canal from ours in Salford up to Salford Quays down the canal, round Salford Quays and back down into town on the other side of the canal.
Oh, wow.
It was a top walk. It was about 15k. It was lovely.
How long did it take to do it?
About 3 hours. We had fish and chips on the way.
Oh.
It was lovely. It was a really nice walk.
Do you know what I miss? Going for a walk and then just nipping in the pub for a drink on the way.
Yeah, we can't talk about the pub again, mate. All we do is talk about the
Right,
pub.
okay, well, stop.
Stop. People are going to think those two girls just chat about going for a drink all the time.
But do you know what? On my walk today, oh my gosh, I was walking in this little town called Sale. Shout out to Sale. You know I love Manchester. And I seen a guy running and I looked up and it was Batman.
What?
Batman.
It wasn't actually Batman, though. Was he just dressed in as Batman?
Dressed as Batman. I don't think
Okay.
Batman's actually real.
All right. Ruin my dreams.
Yeah, he was just running like he was about to save someone or something. I thought, are you okay, love? I looked and I don't know where he was running to.
Maybe he was doing it for charity or something. Everyone's doing them virtual runs, aren't they? Like running marathons in the hometown.
Yeah, but on his own.
Yeah, maybe. Why not? Well, I ain't going to run a marathon with him. Like, you just track your miles, don't you? And then run a marathon.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dressed as Batman, though.
People have done marathons in suits worse than Batman.
Right. And then so that was on the walk. And then when I was walking back to the car, I seen a policeman just like looking through the bushes. And I was like, what's he doing? Next minute, turn around, him and another policeman is just running down the meadows.
Chasing Batman.
There must have been.
Batman was on the rob. That's what Batman were doing.
That's what he was doing. Batman was on the rob. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. So much drama on just a little walk in the meadows.
In the meadows? Meadows in Sale.
Urmston Meadows. But
Honestly, mate, you come out with these places in town. Charlton Water Park, Urmston Meadows. You make Manchester sound like it's the Lake District.
oh, mate, you need to go. It's amazing.
Well, no, I think I'm going to stick to my canal walk.
Oh.
Do you know what? It was quite dangerous, though. It's quite a thin path and there was a lot of people. And I thought, if someone just takes a tumble and they're in that water.
Someone just coughs, you could have COVID.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah.
I was not bothered about that. I was more bothered about being pushed in the water.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, no. So our challenge this week,
Mm.
it's my friend Beverly. I got in touch with her. I wanted her to join us tonight because she is a fitness fanatic herself. She's a personal trainer. She has her own little gym in Bury. Shout out Bury. And I asked her to join us, but she can't because she's doing a load of Zoom classes because that's what we do with our lives now. Zoom fitness classes. But I said to her, right, well, because you can't join us, set as a challenge. So she has said to us, we have to catch one sunset and one sunrise this week.
All right.
So we have to be outside to catch the sunrise and to catch a sunset on a day this week.
Sounds nice.
I think it sounds bloody lovely, mate. I'm not going to lie to you. I was like,
Yeah, but
oh,
you
I
love
like
your midnight runs and all sorts. You'll be catching all sorts out there.
because I've been on the rob.
Probably you dressed as Batman, wouldn't it? Actually, you have got like a...
I know, but I've got a Batman top on.
You got a Batman top on.
Yeah, so
Right.
this is actually Eve's top. I stole it from her. So you've just basically grasped me up because I told you I'd give it back and I'm still wearing it.
Get your top back before she keeps that one.
Catch one sunrise and one sunset this week. And I want photo evidence.
Right, you'll get photos. I'll be round Charlton Water Park.
Catching the sunrise.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is our challenge. We have a bit of a special episode this week, don't we?
We do.
We are joined by two guests today. So we're joined by Cara, who has openly spoke about battling an eating disorder for
many years. Yeah.
Many years, majority of her lifetime.
Yeah.
Which she openly talks about on her Instagram, which we'll put the @ underneath. And I think she's a very positive soul.
Yeah, she's brilliant. So make sure, because I absolutely love her content. Get on Twitter, guys. I love Twitter and follow
You
Cara.
are still on the Twitter hype, aren't you? I feel like the Twitter train left the station a good 5 years ago.
Are you joking?
No, mate. Like, I don't know.
Do you know what? Since all of this Meghan and Harry drama and everything like that, Twitter is a place to be for all the updates.
Right, no. See, I used to love Twitter. I used to like being able to voice an opinion, and then you start getting in trouble for your opinion. So you just come off Twitter and just post a picture of yourself like, I did my makeup today.
I'm one of them weirdos that don't like anything, pretty much, and don't comment either. So I'm just being nosy.
Yeah,
I'm just existing
you
in the
love
Twitter world.
Twitter. She always messages me. She's like, "Yeah, put this on Twitter. Will you just go on Twitter?" You're literally the only person I go on Twitter for. The only time I open my app is when you've gone, "Jasmine, will you just do this?"
I know. I remember saying to you, like, can you go and retweet that, please? Or yeah.
I don't go on it. I don't tweet. I really don't. I don't even know who I follow on there anymore.
Oh, for God's sake, we're staying on there. We love it. Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, so we're having like a little bit of a girls' chat.
Yeah, we are. I'm excited. I've got my friend Vic from work. Love Vic. She's great. She's got great experience as well. And she's got a lot of advice to give.
Oh,
so,
it's nice. I think it's
yeah.
nice. I think it's nice to have female guests.
Yeah, it's International Women's Day. Well, it has been. So we need the women in here, don't we?
Yeah, also, like, I just think it should be International Women's Day every day of the week. So
It should be. Celebrate us.
100%. Celebrate us. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, mate. Before
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
what has been your peak and pit of the week?
So my peak has been my fitness.
Yes.
Like, honestly, I've just been on it.
Do you know what makes me happy? The fact that we started this podcast so we could show that fitness and mental health go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And you've just said the challenge has been, well, you didn't say the challenge, but I'm kind of guessing it's a challenge. Your challenge has been your peak.
Yeah.
So it shows it works, guys. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we do. And it's made my mental health so much better. I feel like when I'm in control of my fitness and health and stuff like that, it just makes me more happier, more relaxed, and it's really helped me this week. What's your peak of the week?
My peak has been... I had it in my head a second ago.
We keep forgetting, don't we?
My peak has been my walk that I spoke about earlier. So I kind of like shot myself in the foot talking about that before. I'd never done that walk before up the canal. It was nice. It rained as well, and I didn't even care that it was raining. I enjoyed my walk, and I enjoyed having fish and chips on my walk.
Was it like that Bridgerton moment when they like dancing in the rain?
No, I've not got that far on Bridgerton. Only 2 eps in, wasn't feeling it.
Oh, really?
Started Behind Her Eyes, also not feeling it.
What?
Yeah, no, finding it a bit weird. Like, don't really know what's going on. Sick of seeing doors.
Yeah, it's weird, but you've got to keep watching it. It's one of them. Keep watching, and it'll be amazing.
Okay, so I'm Ep.3, and I'm like literally like, all right, come on, speed it up. Something's got to happen soon, because at the moment I'm just, it's not really doing it for me. But my peak was my nice walk, and my pit was I didn't have any tea bags, and then it was on my list to buy tea bags, and then I never bought tea bags, so I didn't have tea bags for about 4 days, and I nearly swore then. That's how serious I was about it.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't have my first cup of tea of the day for about 4 days, and it just set me off. Like, I was getting really angry.
Aww.
And then I was having coffee instead, and then having a headache for the days.
Well, you've got really strong coffees, haven't you? Have you got that espresso machine?
Got me an espresso machine, and I love it.
Yay.
I think it's the best thing. But I'm going to end up spending a fortune on Nespresso.
Yeah,
pods.
you will be.
Especially because my mum and dad bought me the new one, which I love you for. Thank you, mum and dad. But can't buy the cheap pods in Tesco.
Can you not?
Because they've changed the sizing, so now I have to buy them from Nespresso. So now it's costing me an arm and a leg. But hey ho, I'm sure that Tesco Finest will fetch out the new size pods so I can put them in my Nespresso machine.
Definitely.
What's your pit, mate?
So my pit is basically we've painted our whole house, which is great. Looks great. But as we were painting it, we broke the radiator.
Oh, it's annoying.
I know. So annoying. So we're going to need to get that fixed. But the house is looking nice, though.
Well, that's good. That's good. It's just minor
Yeah.
detail. It's nice that your pit's not that bad.
I know, for once.
It's not as bad as not having a brew for 4 days straight because you just genuinely forget to get tea bags. So let's get the ladies on.
Yay, I'm excited.
Welcome, girls.
Hey. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've got Vic here.
Hi.
Hi, Vic.
Hi.
You all right?
Yes.
And we've also got Cara. Hi.
Hello.
Are you okay?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So we wanted to get you ladies on just because it's been International Women's Day,
Woo.
though it should be International Women's Day every day of the year. And just basically just have a chat about how we are, what we've been up to, basically why we're proud to be a woman.
Yeah.
Purely just I couldn't be bothered being a boy. I'd be a nightmare if I were a boy. So that's why I'm happy I'm a woman.
So how we start all the time is we ask our guests what is their peak and pit of the week. So, Cara, what's your peak and pit of the week?
My peak is from today. I got discharged from the eating disorder service after a year and a half. And 10 years on and off, but the last year and a half solidly. And my pit is probably, it was really, really cold at the weekend. And I struggle with that in lockdown because I don't like being in the house for very long and it's hard to go out and do things when it's really cold out.
Yes. So today, you literally was discharged today?
Yeah, at 1:00.
Wow. And you've joined us on our podcast. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
Would you like to tell us more about that? You absolutely don't have to if you don't feel comfortable to do so. But
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Oh, we would love to chat more if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. So what was it? So you said it's been about 10 years on and off.
Yeah, in the adult service and then 6 years in CAMS, so a really long time.
Wow, is that like, how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
30.
30, nice.
Yeah.
I'm 29. I like meeting people my age.
Yeah, me too.
So how has it been, like, life for you? How have you found it? Especially now we're in lockdown as well. I guess it's a lot more tougher, like you just said.
Yeah, life, I guess, has been like pretty up and down. I've done some really good things and some not so good things. The last year has been really difficult for everyone, I think, hasn't it? Having mental health care over the last year has been quite difficult because all of it's been over video, which obviously none of us were expecting to happen when it started. So that's been interesting, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. So it's actually turned out to be really successful, I think, all things considered.
I mean, it has been, you've been discharged, so it is working to some extent. Like, it must be so nice to be home.
Oh, I've been home the whole time.
Nice.
I was in day patient for 6 months, but I was still allowed to come home in the evenings. And then the rest since June, I've just been doing like a weekly appointment every week.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, that is good. So how have you found, because obviously we've been in lockdown for a long time now, and
it feels like forever, doesn't it?
It really does. And how have you coped with having an eating disorder throughout the lockdown?
It's been really difficult because it just meant that all my treatment was completely different to how I expected it to be, or how it started, because I started in 2019, before COVID was a thing, or before we knew it was a thing. Also, I think a lot of it is about like a sense of control, and the world felt really, really out of control for quite a long time, so that was really hard. But I think I've kind of just come to terms with kind of how things are at the moment. I think if in March you'd have told me we'd still be in lockdown in next March, I'm not sure how I would have coped with that information, but it's just kind of one day at a time, isn't it, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, we were saying the other day that once we got a day, it was so much easier.
It's changed everyone's view, hasn't it? Even just Boris coming on the telly and giving us a few dates, I was like, do you know what? All right then. I mean, you've lied to me before, but I might believe you this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just seeing a way out, isn't it? It's just a bit of like motivation.
I think we're all kind of used to it now. And now we're used to it. It's like, oh, well, we're coming out of it now. We're all like adjusted to life in lockdown. And I'm quite used to just sitting on my arse and doing nothing every day.
I thought as well, like we've been saying in the previous episodes, that once Boris gave us a date, it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah.
That way.
I'm not sure it has though. I think it's been a thing where I'm like waiting now. Now I know that it's like it's happening. Everything just seems to be going so much slower. I'm like, come on,
I've got that app on my phone that counts down everything. And the other day, it counted down to being able to see a friend outside.
But Cara, I suffer from quite bad depression, and I found that when lockdown first started, I really, really did struggle. It kind of flared up my symptoms in a way. Did you feel that way with you, or did you have coping strategies?
Yeah, definitely. And I wouldn't say like I was pretty depressed like when my anorexia was really bad, but it was kind of like as a result of that. But yeah, definitely at the start of lockdown I just felt so purposeless, and I felt like I was sort of doing myself like activity timetables because I was still off sick from work, so I didn't really have anything to fill my time with, doing like timetables and things, but it felt like I was just doing things just for the sake of it to pass time. And because we didn't know when any of it was going to end, like, I felt really like lost at the start of lockdown. Now that I'm back at work and doing stuff like that, it's a lot easier. But yeah, definitely I was really low to the start of it.
That sounds really a good idea, what you said about the activities that you were tables you were making. So what sort of things were they? Like,
I broke it down hour by hour, and it had stuff like therapy and like all my meals, and then things like I tried to replicate what the timetable from my day patient service was. So I think it was like Thursday morning we'd have like an anxiety management session, so I'd try and timetable in on a Thursday morning to do like some mindfulness by myself or something like that. So I tried to give myself like as much structure in the day as possible, but sometimes it did feel really pointless to just be doing stuff until I could go to bed again and then just wake up the next day and do it all over again. But it definitely it got easier with time, but I'd say the first month or so I did really, really struggle.
I think it's mad how much we crave routine. Routine's taken away from us. We all of a sudden like go into like panic mode and like, wow, what do we do now? And I just remember when Boris, I just remember what he said, it as something like short-term sacrifice, long-term gain, and yet here we are 12 months on, Boris, a little liar.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, I've had my arguments about Boris, I'm not gonna go there. But I think having that routine taken away from you, and just, it was so drastic, like they shut the schools and the gyms were shut and the shops were shut, and all of a sudden I'm like sat there like, well, what do I do? I was out of work anyway, so it was just strange, just really, really strange.
But you find a new routine then, don't you? Like you adapt 100%. To this new normal, don't you?
And I think, Cara, I was having a little nosy on your Instagram earlier. And I think you've been so positive. I think what your Instagram gives off is so much positivity. You've gone through so much, yet you radiate so much good. And I think it was really lovely to have a look. You had one post that I really wanted to pick up on. BMI is bullshit.
Yeah.
And I literally read it and was like, yes, it is. Because I remember years ago, so I power lift. So
wow.
Quite a strong physique. And I remember going, and I can't remember, I think I was going to see a gynecologist, and she made me stand and weigh myself and did my height. And I'm only 4'11". And my weight, I can't remember what I weighed. But she sat me down and she was like, on paper, you're classed as obese. And I was like, what? Like, I train 6 times a week. I like focus on my food and my nutrition. And this woman who didn't know me from Adam turned around and said, because of 2 figures that she's calculated, I was classed as obese. And I was like, what on earth? That is what is wrong with society, especially amongst women.
Yeah,
I think. I just loved your post, and it really brought so much home for me with that.
Yeah, well, it was originally designed by a mathematician. It was just to measure like a population based on the average white man. So it's not only sexist, it's also racist as like a system. It just doesn't work like at all to measure anyone like, as an individual. And it frustrates me a bit that eating disorder services use it so religiously, because it's really hard to not focus on it yourself when your whole treatment team is really focused on it.
100%.
That's really hard.
I've never looked at it in my life. And then I walked out of this room. I went to talk about my periods with her, and come out like, what on earth is going on? I was like, I just think that is where things can trigger people massively, massively.
Yeah.
And I think
definitely.
As women, I think we all need to just come together and be like, no, nip this one in the bud. We're not going to deal with that.
Absolutely. Definitely. So, Vic, what is your peak and pit of the week?
I'm going to start off with my pit because I feel like that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
So my pit is pretty much what we were all saying before, actually, just that lockdown, just now he's announced these dates. I'm so looking forward to these dates that I can't not think about these dates. So I'm just, weekends just seem to go so slowly. Weeks go so slowly. I feel like it should be Friday now, but it's not. And I just, it's just hard. I find it really difficult these past few weeks since he's done this announcement. I found it so difficult to sort of get into anything because I'm just looking forward to these dates. So yeah, that's my pit. And my peak's actually something that's quite like a full rounder. So I'm getting married.
Yay!
So we've been planning a wedding since before lockdown. We just started planning then. But obviously, when lockdown happened, it's sort of everything's cut off. You can't go and try on a bridesmaid's dress in my own wedding. a bride's dress. You can't go and try anything on. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. So it's kind of been on hold. And since these dates, actually, now I'm like, get organised, done nothing, and it's next year. So yeah, but from that, it's kind of been really nice because I've now got back in contact with some friends that I've not been able to keep in contact with as much because everyone's got a life and things. And everyone's doing their own thing at the moment. And we're all kind of in a nice little group chat now, all of my friends, even though they don't know each other, and they're all getting on. And it's kind of got a nice like community feel to it. So
that's nice. My group chat started going off when Boris announced the dates. Like holidays, they were like, where? Can we go to Ibiza now then? Like, allowed it. We're going. I don't have to pay £1,700 to sit in the Radisson when I come home. So
it was open last week, didn't it? And everyone was like, I'm going to Cyprus. Should we go to Cyprus? I'm like, okay,
I'll go anywhere, me.
I've got great anxiety about things getting back to normal. I know it because I'm obviously wanting to get back to normal, but the thought of it just feels weird, don't you think?
Yeah,
I do feel. Yeah, I do.
I get what you mean with that. I do think like it worries me having to go and sit in a cinema and someone sit next to me, and I'll be like, no, mate, leave a few chairs.
Yeah,
Don't
I
sit
can't
near
even
me.
watch a film now without thinking, oh, those people are too close together.
I do that. Or like literally you watched it, or they walk into a pub and they're not wearing a mask. I'm like, where's your mask?
I can't even remember. It sounds so strange. I can't even remember what film it was now, but this woman lit the window. And I was like, oh no, just don't do that.
No,
that is not a thing.
I mean, did you do that before COVID? Because if you did, that's slightly worrying.
Don't tell anyone.
I might ask you one question, girls, before we finish, actually.
Yeah.
This is quite a big topic. What advice do you have to anyone out there that's struggling? So I'm going to ask you first, Cara, and then I'll ask you, Vic. Cara, for someone that's suffering from an eating disorder, like what advice would you give them?
I guess like the main thing would be not to keep it to yourself, because like from my experience, it tends to get worse, and they're very secretive illnesses, and the more secretive you keep them, the more they can sort of take over. And also, I feel a bit conflicted about this advice, really, because I always want to tell people that they should just like go to their GP or to wherever to try and ask for some support. But I know the services are so stretched that loads of people don't get it.
Yeah.
I still would really advocate for people trying to get support, even though it might not necessarily be there, but also be on their website, have like so many amazing resources if people aren't able to get any sort of treatment on the NHS. They've got like chat rooms and things like that are really helpful. But definitely, the main thing is just don't keep it to yourself, because it's not going to go away on its own. And definitely, like what I've learned this time around is that the more people I tell, the more people can help me.
Yeah. I think that's a great bit of advice. It always comes down to just talking, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No one is
Yeah.
ever on their own. I think having a conversation, opening up a conversation with someone, hopefully someone listens to this podcast and goes, I feel like I can now talk to someone about it. And I think that's the whole point of us doing this, weren't it, Kat? Like, we wanted to make sure we opened up conversations amongst people that they maybe found difficult. So thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it, especially so last minute.
I know.
Thanks for having me.
That was brilliant, Cara, and you know, it'll help someone out there. You don't. Yeah, because I've one of my best friends had an eating disorder. She didn't go and get diagnosed, but we just knew she had it. And it's like a lot of people do suffer and don't get help.
Yeah,
like
so many.
Being an adult and they continue those behaviours.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah, but keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, you're amazing. I love your content. I'll keep following and seeing your journey. We'll put your links below the podcast and stuff, and I'll send you the link once we've done it.
Awesome.
Very much, darling.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Vic, what would your advice be to somebody that is suffering with a mental illness?
I think, I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Like, I think the whole of this lockdown has been hard for absolutely everyone, whether they've got mental illnesses or whether they've anything, it's hard. I think my mental health issues personally come from a previous like domestic abuse situation, which is really difficult anyway. But in terms of just thinking about it, how it had been now in lockdown, I can't imagine, and my heart really hurts for all these people, both men and women, because it happens to both people, that are now like locked and trapped in a house with someone that is really upsetting them. And it's awful, because I just think those people are the people that need the help the most, but what do they do? Where do they go? So I think it's kind of like mirroring what Cara said earlier, that just you try and talk to anyone, someone somewhere, but at the same time you don't, because you just don't, in that situation you just kind of don't talk. You just want to keep it to yourself.
I think it's so easy for people to sit back and in hindsight go, oh, do this, do that, this is what I did, this is where I like. But for someone in that specific moment, they just probably don't see a way out of it. Like, where do you go?
I think it's so easy for people to say as well, like, just leave. That's
just
the
walk,
one, that's the one that I got all the time. Why didn't you just go? Why didn't you just leave? Like, you can see all those things that he was doing to you, so just leave. It's just not that I can't describe. It's like a full on control. And I think that's some things that some people don't realise, and I think you lose friendships over that if you're not already isolated from those friendships anyway. You lose friendships from people thinking that you've just got a bit of a tit of a boyfriend, and they're not like.
I think also it goes down to it being a taboo subject again. People don't want to talk about it. People don't know about it. People don't educate themselves on it. So therefore, they don't know what you're going through. So they just think it's just simple. Oh, right. It's like when people snap out of it. If you're feeling a bit down, snap out of it.
Just smile.
Just smile.
No, I don't want to.
Why don't you grow a set? Sorry, what? Like, what?
Yeah, it's just.
People just need to be more aware of the language they are using and the tone they are using that language.
Yeah. Not everyone reacts to things the way where someone else reacts to it. And people expect them to react in the same way, don't they? And it's just...
Absolutely. And do you know what? This is something I was a massive thing all the way through high school. I found I would be, I felt like someone was overreacting maybe, I'd be a bit like, oh, you're overreacting, what are you doing that for? And it only probably when I started Hollyoaks and being around actors probably helped me more. Not everyone deals with stuff. Like, I'm dead blasé about stuff, me. I know this is going to be awful. It's a really dull topic, but, like, death doesn't bother me. So, like, I just kind of go, oh, okay, that's fine.
And that's how you deal with it.
Yeah, like, that's how it is. And I put that in a box and it goes and I'm, like, done. Whereas I've had friends take weeks and months off work for grief. And I used to be like, wow, what are you... I don't understand. Like, and I think that it took me a while to come to terms with the fact that people will not react in the same way you do, and that is absolutely fine.
Yeah, absolutely
Everyone's
fine.
emotion is valid and is warranted. And if someone needs 2-3 weeks off work, then so be it.
Yeah.
That's not how you deal with it, because they're not you. And it probably is maturity. That's probably me maturing somehow, because I'm definitely not mature. Somehow maturing through life. That was been my biggest thing. I just thought everyone would react in the same way that I would to a situation, and they didn't.
I think a lot of people just expect, because if I'm upset about something, this is like maturity as well, growing up. But say it's like a boyfriend situation as well. Like, say when you were younger, if you broke up with your boyfriend and he wasn't as upset as you are, then you'd be like, he didn't love me then. He's not crying all week or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So it's like that as well. It's like you grow up to realise that everybody is different and everybody reacts differently to things. And like Jazz said, that is absolutely fine.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's a thing that employers should realise as well, shouldn't they? Like, I think more people need to realise that, again, like you were saying, like, people need that time.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not, the people are given like a day sometimes for like deaths and things, and I don't know.
In my last job, they brought in duvet days.
Oh,
that sounds good.
Yeah, so people, if they just needed a day off, like to be in bed and to...
What, you bring the duvet with you?
No, don't go into work. Like, you take the day off work and stay in
Really?
bed. They called it duvet days. It's mental health days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically. And I thought that was the best thing ever. But then I felt like I can't use them because I just literally wanted to stay in bed.
Yeah, I would be in bed all day. Kat knows how much I like a nap on my lunch
Vic
hour.
loves her naps, honestly, absolutely loves them. But Vic, going back to your story, what was your turning point to get out of it? How did you get out?
Do you want the honest answer or the strong-willed? I'd like to say, honestly, if I'm being really honest, I'd like to say that I got up and I left and I was a strong woman and I clicked my fingers and did all that stuff.
Yeah.
But honestly, I didn't. It wasn't what happened. Actually, how I ended up getting out of it was he just decided he was done with me now and it was moving on to the next one. But I don't think that makes me any less of like a strong woman. I just think that was... I think I was lucky in a sense, really, because, I mean, I'm not going into details, but it was a near-death sort of situation on a couple of occasions. And I just think, like, actually, when I look back on that now, I was so lucky that he wanted to go, because I don't know actually how I would have ever got away from that situation. And unfortunately, that's what these kinds of people do. They consume your life, and to everyone else, they're like the most amazing human being ever, and they play their top Oscar-winning actors and actresses. Honestly, they literally will play everyone around you, even yourself. You think that you're just as bewildered by everything. You don't feel like it feels like your brain is out of your body, and it's like an out-of-body experience constantly. So I think if he hadn't have gone, I probably would have just continued. I don't think I was ever putting up with it, because I'd stand my ground, because I'm quite a strong woman, and I'd say, I'm not putting up with this, I'm leaving, I'm going. But it's the backlash from that you get, like the chasing and not physically chasing, but I mean, like, they turn up at your house and they take, like, so you can't get physically out of that situation. Yeah. So I think I'm so glad in that sense that he sort of left me alone, really. So yeah, that's kind of how I got out of it.
Yeah, things happen for a reason, don't they?
100%.
Definitely.
I'm just say, bye, Felicia.
See you later.
Yeah.
See ya. I mean, it didn't take me long to like stop being upset about it. If anything, it was more just like a relief.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But then, obviously, then you just kind of did kind of what you said, like put it in a box. Don't think about it. I'm a strong lady. I went to Bali. I found myself. I got some pants. That sort of stuff. I was like, yes. And then it caught up with me about a year later. And then that's kind of when my mental health went, because it all just suddenly sprung from nowhere.
It's fight or flight, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just go into airplane mode and you're like, I'm going, literally getting on a plane and
literally,
going.
Bye.
And yeah, I think reality will hit at some point, but my box is way far away.
Yeah.
No one touches that box.
Yeah. that box ain't coming out.
So how have you coped then, Vic? Because like with mental illness, it's always there, like Alex said a few episodes ago. You just learn to cope, don't you?
Yeah, I think everyone has their up days and their bad days. So you cope, and then something comes up and you kind of like just everything sort of comes back to you. But over like lockdown and all this stuff, it's just been, I can't just, everyone says the same thing. It's just been a strange time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
No one knows really what's been going on, what's happened. But I think that I've just kind of, At the start, I found it really, really, really hard. And I had to see a few counsellors and things. And then kind of counsellors kind of got shut off. And then, like Cara was saying, it was all over the phone or on Zoom or whatever. And they talked to you about things and they were really great, do not get me wrong. But then I think you just kind of get lost, because there's so many things going on with COVID, you kind of get lost in the system. So mine swapped over to another counsellor and I never, ever got contact with that other counsellor, and I never followed it up because I just thought I can't be bothered anymore, which is unfortunate because it was just going round in circles, and I had about 6 weeks of just no counselling whatsoever, and then they kind of just go. And I don't think it's anyone's fault. I think it's just the way things are at the moment. So I kind of did get a little bit let down by that side of things. And I think just having the support of like my family and great friends, and now my partner now, he's incredible, and he totally understands like my crazy time. He's like, stop trying to cause a fight with me, you're trying to pick a fight, you're not getting a fight out of me. Like, he knows exactly what's going on, so he's great. And my mum's fabulous at just having like a bit of mum time, you know, when you just need it.
My mum's the first person I phoned.
Literally,
always.
Same. So's my mum. It's Mother's Day this week. Is it this week? This weekend?
Yeah, this Sunday.
So don't forget about that.
International Women's Day and Mother's Day.
Doing it for the
Oh
ladies.
my gosh, yeah.
The lady.
Yeah, so I think it's just, as long as you've got a good support network around you. But if you haven't, then I think the only thing you can do really is talk to anyone.
There's so many charities, so many
So
chat
many.
lines, so many places you can reach out to people. So please, if you're listening and you think any of these stories sound like you, even slightly, just get in touch with someone. I always think it's easier to talk to a stranger
Definitely.
than it is to approach a family member. So maybe get that reassurance from a stranger, have that and like build your confidence up, and then take it to a family member or a friend.
And you know, that's what we're missing. Going to the pub and being drunk in the toilet. The girls'
Telling
toilet.
all the girls your life story.
Yeah.
I go
my life.
missing for ages. My friend's like, she's in the toilet chatting to about
Chatting
a
to
million
someone.
girls.
We've shared the lipstick, their eyeliner.
Can't anymore, COVID.
Everything, yeah. We can't anymore, yeah. But that's what we're missing, definitely.
Thank you so much
thanks
for
for
joining
having
us.
me.
Yeah,
Really
it's
appreciate
good.
it.
Thanks for having me, and also thanks for like getting me out of the house. Like, this is the first time I've not been anywhere that's Aldi.
Oh, nice.
So thanks.
No worries, thank you.
Thanks for coming
Thanks,
back.
ladies.
That was lovely, being joined by people,
I know. I
having
love it.
human contact. Well, socially distanced contact.
And it was so much good advice as well.
Yeah, it's nice. Do you know what? I love that no matter who we chat to, everyone has had their own troubles in some way, no matter how big or small.
Yeah.
And I think just normalising that and just chatting about it, it puts me in such a good mood.
It does. It does. I just love having all the girls in there.
Yeah, girl power.
Girl power.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining us again. I think this is episode 9, which is mental.
Oh my God. How has time flown?
I just don't know how I'm still talking about stuff, like how people aren't bored of listening to me yet. But I'm glad you're not. But if you want to join us, you can follow us on thepeakandthepit _podcast. We have a Twitter, because Cat tweets.
Well, we don't have a Twitter, actually. It's just my own Twitter. But if you want to...
Oh, so Kat just getting everyone to follow her Twitter. But she just posts about the Peak in the Pit. So follow Kat. Follow Kat on Twitter.
Yeah, it's Cat Whittam. Follow Cat Whittam on Twitter. Not much happens there, honestly, but I do love Twitter.
Yeah, she is active. Who's she kidding? No, get involved. Make sure you write in with your peak in the pits. We love to hear from you. Also, if you want to set us a challenge, like go wild, have us do skipping or trampolining. Where do you trampoline? Don't have us trampolining. I don't have a trampoline.
Well, things are opening soon, so you've got Jump Nation.
Jump
go there.
Nation.
So, you know what to do, guys. Like and subscribe.
Yes, please. Thank you. I love you all and can't wait to speak to you again next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.